Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today in this video, we are going to see how you could use AWS Spot Instances to save your costs up to 53%. We would be exploring the Spot Instances creation process, how to access the instances, and then how you could cancel the request once your task is completed. For this, I have already logged into my AWS console. Here you see that I am currently in the Hyderabad region, and as of now, or you see the two instances are in the terminated state. If you go to the spot request, which is there on the extreme left under the instances section, you could go ahead and click on request spot instance. Now you could select the AMI which you would like to use for creating the spot instances. Let's say you want to create a Windows machine. So you could go ahead and get the Windows AMI details from the launch instance tab, which is the normal process in which we create instances. Make sure that you are in the right region when you are copying the AMI, because AMIs change. The AMI ID changes when the region changes. You go to EC2 tab. In EC2, you go to spot requests, click on request spot instances, and here you could actually paste the AMI ID and the Windows image is selected. Next thing what you could do is provide the PEM key which you have on your system so that you could decrypt the password. So once you have selected the PEM key, the next thing that we have is other launch parameters. If you want additional volumes, you could provide those volumes, and even if you would like to attach a particular security group, that is also acceptable here. If you have a user data which is used to automate certain processes during the launch, that is also possible. Now I'm not going into all of that. So the next thing that we have is the fleet details. Here it will ask you for the capacity. You could provide the capacity as 1 or 2 depending upon your needs. I will go with capacity 1 as of now for this demo. What we also have is an option that says maintain the target capacity. So what happens is, let's say uh, what we know from spot instances is when AWS is in need or requires the hardware resources, it will give us a notification and terminate the EC2 instances that are running as spot instances. That is, if there is a demand for on-demand instances, then AWS is having the right to delete or terminate our spot instances to accommodate the on-demand instances that are being requested by other users of AWS in that particular region. In these circumstances, what we can do is, if you enable this option maintain target capacity, what would happen is AWS spot requests will make sure that at least those many instances that you have selected as the target capacity are always running. Even if an instance is terminated, you would be seeing a new instance being created in that place. So as of now, I'm not going with this option. The next thing is to select the VPC or the network in which you would like to create your instance. So I have selected this VPC, which is my default VPC. So I would be going with any availability zone because all the availability zone subnets are public in the default VPC. The next section that we have is you could either specify the number of CPUs and RAM that you would like to have, or you could always go ahead and select the instance types. Now here if you see, we only are getting certain instance types, that is a C5 large, C6 2x large and stuff, right? But let's say you would like to go with a T series. So what you could do is delete all the instances that are already listed. Click on add instance types, and in the search type 3T medium, and this should give you the instance. Check the instance and click on select. So now if you see, with the T3 medium, which is giving the 2 CPUs and 4 GB of RAM, right? The spot price is $0.0297 per hour, and the savings that you are getting is 53.01%. There's a small warning which AWS tends to post because it says that adding more instance types or availability zones will increase the likelihood of fulfillment of your request. Now, Hyderabad is a very new region, and what I've seen is not being used extensively. So, any spot request that I create has always been fulfilled with that settings. I'll go with the price capacity optimize, which is the recommended settings that we have, and I'll click on launch the spot request. As soon as I click on launch the spot request, what you will see is a spot request ID being created. Under this ID, what you would be seeing is the state just submitted. Now, as soon as these servers are created, you would see that the instance ID has come up. You could click on this instance ID, which will take you to the instance ID screen. And here you see that it is in the initialization process. Once the initialization completes, you should be able to decrypt the password for this EC2 instance and then log in. So let's actually go into mobile XTerm and actually make the configuration files. So what I'll do is create a new session, and the new session is an RDP session. So this is the host name, ADMINIS creator. That's it. Click on OK. It should ask you for a password. You could decrypt the password from the security settings, go to Windows passwords, upload the private key, and private key. So this is the key which we use to create the EC2 instance. I'll click on decrypt the password, copy the password, and paste it. Click on OK, and we should be able to connect to the EC2 instance very soon. As you're logging in for the first time, Windows does take a bit longer to actually complete all the profile configurations for that particular user, and we should have the login screen or the Windows page available for us. Very soon you would also see the instance details, that is the IP address, the instance ID and stuff registered on the extreme right as soon as the server talks to the controllers. So here we have, it's a T3 medium. We are in the availability zone AP South to C. The architecture is AMD 64. Network is up to 5 gigabits, and the total memory that we have is 4 GB. So this is how it is. This is a normal EC2 instance, but the only catch is we would be saving a lot of cost because it's actually a spot instance being created. Now, how to get rid of the instances? One you could do is terminate the instance directly, but that would leave the spot request in a dangling state. What I would suggest is go to the spot request. You do have the instance ID, and these are all the logs of the history that have been generated. This is the amount of savings that you would be generating. So as you keep using, it would be updated every hour, and you would be able to see the amount of savings that you have when compared to the um, when compared to your normal EC2, right? So what I would be now doing is deleting or canceling this request. So you need to go to the spot request page and go to actions and click on cancel request. So as soon as you cancel request, the first thing that is going to happen is the EC2 instance which was running would now go into a shutting down process. And once it is totally shut down, it would also be terminated. That is, the disks would be deleted. And once this is done, we should be able to see that the spot request is also going into a cancelled state. So it's cancelled terminating as of now. As soon as the termination process is completed and the instance goes into a terminated state, which is done, so the spot request should also go into a cancelled state very soon. It does take a bit of time for it going into the cancel state, but this one that you see on top was just cancelled an hour ago. So this is how the cancel state would look like. That's it for this video. I hope you are now familiar with how spot requests are created. Very easy and would help you save a lot of cost when it comes to your AWS builds. The only catch is a spot request can be cancelled anytime by AWS if it needs the resources for the on-demand instances raised by any other customer. So make sure that you are selecting a region in which one, it is quite new, two, the amount of traffic that AWS should be expecting is less, or the number of customers that might be using the region would be less, and you should be good. For example, US East 1, there is a possibility that the instances could be cancelled after a short notice, but Hyderabad, we should be okay as of now. This is 2024 July. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like the video and share it across. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Keep having a great day.